The Untouchable True School Sports Empire proudly presents something the boxing game's been missing. Hey, what's going on? It's your boy BT, and I came here to talk some boxing with the thousands of True School Sports subscribers. Now, make sure you guys take the time to hit that like button and definitely take some time to subscribe if you're new to the channel, and you won't be disappointed, and it'll be greatly appreciated, and you'll get great boxing content because of it. Now, look, man, I didn't get a chance to watch his fight last night, but he looked pretty good. And listen. I've talked about this fighter, this young fighter, for a long time. I've talked him up to no end in the past. I've seen him fight in person. I've met him in person. I've interviewed him. He's a great person, a remarkable fighter, and a remarkable just overall talent in this sport of boxing. And I'll be honest, I really want to start making a better effort to talk about him more on my channel. But, sometimes when fighters aren't the loudest and they don't do the most gimmicky stuff on social media and the names aren't always in the news, sometimes they can get overlooked. But listen, man, when you have talent like this young man right here from South Central LA, South Central LA's very own, you can't overlook that kind of talent. You can't overlook this caliber of fighter. And that fighter is South Central LA's very own, Diego Pacheco. Now, I've spoken very highly about Diego Pacheco. I made a prospect review video on Diego Pacheco like 2 years ago when he was 8-0, and he was. I said that he was Eddie Hearn's best fighter. I said that he was, his best American prospect. I think he might be his best prospect in general. Forget Mark Castro, forget Hopi Price, forget Nikita Abibi. When we talk about the best prospects that Eddie Hearn actually has in his stable, it ain't any of them guys I named. It's Diego Pacheco. That's the guy that you need to pay attention to. And last night he fought. What was the guy's name? Lucas, the Brazilian guy. He fought the Brazilian dude last night. I can't remember his name right now. It's escaping me. But guy was like 12-0, 11 knockouts, hard puncher. Very padded record. I'm not going to lie to you. Very padded record. But a guy who could punch and a guy that Diego had to be weary of his power. And I thought Diego handled the fight brilliantly. And every time I see Diego fight, the more I become a fan of his, the more I'm impressed by him, the more I think he's going to go all the way and become world champion. I'm looking at Diego Pacheco as that next Mexican-American boxing superstar. I know a lot of people get caught up with Mark Castro, and Mark Castro's a good fighter too. Mark Castro's a very good defensively slick fighter, but to me, the one that's got it all the talent, all the attributes, all the skills, the guy that's the total package in that boxing ring is Diego Pacheco. I mean, he just does things that you don't even see a lot of fighters do anymore. He's first of all, God has blessed him physically, being long, rangy, with a great frame for boxing. So he's got that going for him. He's very big for a 68-pounder. He's pushing 6'4". He's got a great jab, a well-schooled, well-educated jab that he developed in the amateurs. I mean, this is a fighter. Let's not get it twisted. This is a fighter that was ranked, I believe, I could be wrong, y'all can correct me, but if I remember correctly, this was a fighter that in his weight class in the amateurs, he was ranked simultaneously the #1 Mexican amateur and the #1 American amateur. He had every promoter knocking on his door trying to sign him. He had everybody in boxing wanting to sign him, from Eddie Hearn to Top Rank to PBC. Everyone wanted Diego Pacheco, and every time when I watch him fight, there's reasons for that. The jab is great. The composure he has in the pocket is great. He does something that a lot of fighters don't do anymore, that are orthodox fighters, and he actually throws the straight right hand lead. He'll throw the straight right hand as his first punch in a combination. You don't really see a lot of fighters do that, and you can tell. I don't know. I never asked Diego, but that's something that Floyd Mayweather used to do a lot, and maybe that was somebody who influenced his style a little bit. But he's a very good fighter, man, and I have zero doubt in my mind that he's gonna become a world champion. I think 168, the future of this division is in very great hands, because you got guys like David Morrell Jr., who I think will be knocking at the door of a world title coming up really soon. You got Edgar Berlanga, who I know a lot of people aren't as high on anymore because he got exposed by Marcelo Coceres his last fight, but he still won, and there's still some good attributes, and Berlanga can still come and be a good fighter. And then out of everybody, out of Berlanga and Morrell and all these fighters at 68 that are coming up, there's no fighter that I'm more high on than Diego Pacheco. Not one fighter, because he just fights. First of all, I had to go on BoxRec continuously, and I had to check his age, because it says he's 20, and he don't fight nothing like he's 20. He fights like he's 26, 27. He fights like someone that's been a professional almost 10 years or 10 years. This guy fights like a veteran. And, it's not surprising that he fights this way, because you saw what he did in the amateurs. You see, he's been getting great work in the gym. He's been, for those of you who don't know, Diego Pacheco, he was Canelo's main sparring partner for the Canelo Smith fight. And you know, he even said in an interview recently that Canelo Alvarez, when he broke Callum Smith's arm, he was practicing on Diego. So to be in the ring and to get quality work in with the great fighter like Canelo and be in his camp, that's gonna take him a long way. His amateur pedigree takes him a long way. His ability to actually fight as a tall fighter, but not be confined to just throwing a jab and a straight right hand. He mixes it up. He feints. He throws straight right hand leads. He's not afraid to go on the inside. I've seen a lot of good things from this kid, from this young man in his first couple fights in his career, and he's not gonna be a prospect much longer. I think, you know, this fight for him was an 8-rounder. He'll be fighting, his next fight will be a 10-rounder. He even said it himself. His next fight will be a 10-rounder. So once you get to this level in your boxing career where you're fighting 10-round fights, 12-round fights of this level, you know, you're no longer really, to me, considered a prospect. You're considered somebody that's a contender, French contender, you know, a young budding contender. That's what Diego Pacheco is. He's a young budding contender. And I really feel like a world title isn't too far away from him. I'm thinking like it's 2021 now. I'm thinking like by late 2022, middle 2023, Diego Pacheco will be challenging for world titles, because that's the level of maturity he fights at. That's the level of talent he has. And when I look at Diego Pacheco, I'm looking at a fighter that can go all the way and become the next, not just be a world champion. I'm talking about be the next Mexican-American boxing superstar, because he's that damn good. And I don't understand. I know he signed a Matchroom, and I know he gets talked about, and I know people talk about him, but I don't think people quite talk about him the way they should talk about him. I don't think people talk about Diego Pacheco the way they should. I don't think he's getting the hype or the recognition that maybe some other prospects get, because he's not a guy that talks a lot. He's not a guy that does gimmicky stuff on social media. He's just a young, quiet killer from South Central Los Angeles, California, and he's someone that he's no nonsense. He's a no nonsense fighter, and that's what I love about Diego. And I could sit here. I could talk about Diego till the cows come home. I really could, because that's how highly I think of him. There's very few young fighters in boxing, if any, that I think highlier of than Diego Pacheco. He's that damn good. You know, Berlanga, hell of a fighter. Still think Berlanga has world championship potential. David Morrell, hell of a fighter. I think he's got potential to win a world title, but you know, these guys better steer clear, because when Diego Pacheco comes knocking on that door, and when Diego Pacheco gets to that elite level, when Diego Pacheco starts challenging for world titles, I truthfully think that he'll be running the super middleweight division when push comes to shove. And we'll see, man. There could be some good. There's gonna be some interesting fights in the future for this young man. And I'm making a declaration in this video, because first of all, Diego Pacheco, I've been high on him since I've seen his pro debut. Since I heard about him, since I first learned who he was, I've been high on him. I've been high on Diego Pacheco since I met him, and I've definitely been high on Diego Pacheco as his career has progressed. So, you know, we're gonna cover it more, because I think on my channel I've only done about maybe 3 or 4 videos ever about him. So that's a no-go. That is a no-go. We can't be talking about these fighters that I don't like, because, like, for example, I don't like Canelo Alvarez, right? But I make lots of videos about him, and there's other fighters I don't like, and I make lots of videos about them. So we can't let dislike or hate trump our love and adoration that we have for certain fighters, and I want to start covering it more. So a great performance from Diego Pacheco, threw a great straight right hand lead all fight long. Was very patient, showed good defense in the pocket, varied his jab very nicely against the Brazilian. And you know, people question the stoppage in the 8th round from the referee. I wasn't really too displeased with the stoppage. I think the guy was taking a beating. But another knockout for him, and another great performance from him. So I'm looking forward to seeing where he goes in his career. And I'm gonna say it, man. I'm gonna double down on what I said in my prospect review video 2 years ago. Diego Pacheco is a future world champion, and he is, in fact, Eddie Hearn's best prospect. So I'm gonna leave it at that. You guys, let me know what you think in the comments down below. Make sure you guys take the time to subscribe. And like I say in every single one of these videos, you can love me or you can hate me, but I'm just kidding, Daniel. So until next time, take care, guys.